Hello everyone, William here. So for this year, I decided to start making some diligent effort into completing my Pokemon collection of all my favorites. And here you can see Chinchino. I also have some Minchinos here as well. Now, looking up on Bulbapedia about Chinchino, one thing I never knew is that both Chinchino and Minchino are supposed to be similar in design to how design aspects of Clefairy and Clefable. I collect Clefairy too. That's on the previous page. You could see some back here. Now, Chinchino isn't my favorite Pokemon. That would be Cloyster, but I haven't collected that many Cloyster cards right now. The ones I've seen on eBay aren't in the best condition, and I want to try and get mainly near mint ones, so I'll have to wait a while for those ones to pop up, or I might have to buy some internationally because I have seen them on eBay UK, but I don't want to import anything right now. Interesting enough, Chinchino has more cards than Cloyster. Chinchino has 14 different artworks. This one's the first from Black and White base set. Here we see base set. That's a little logo there. I never actually remember that. I sometimes have to look up online. Now, why Chinchino? It's just I really like the design. Here we have a Spanish copy. This one's let me look over to the side. Emerging Powers. I have Bulbapedia open on the other tab. This one's a Spanish copy that I bought from a seller in Spain. He had some other cards I wanted for my language set, so I decided, oh, he had a Chinchino, I'll just buy that as well. And my only other non-English card is this Japanese one. It's kind of a similar situation where I was buying a bunch of cards and the seller had this one, so I decided, you know what, I'll buy it. I usually don't buy that many Japanese cards, but it was a reasonable price, so I pulled the trigger on it. Here we see this one's these ones are from, is it Next Destinies? Looking over. Yeah. I like the ability on this Chinchino. It's similar to the baby rule where the opponent has to flip a coin if they want to try and damage Chinchino. From what I understand, there was kind of a playable deck with this card. Might explain why they have three variations of it. It's I forget the name of the site. It's Jason Klevinsky. I want to say I might be pronouncing that wrong, but that he has various retro decks, and I saw this. There's a Chinchino variant. I doubt I'll ever get to play it, but it's really interesting to know that Chinchino has some playability. There's one thing I wanted to mention. Oh, that's some of the artists that have drawn these, illustrated these cards, and here we see Kanaka Eo. I really like her art. And the very first Chinchinos done by Kagemaru Himeno, and she's also done the first illustration of Cloyster from Fossil. So that's kind of a coincidence. This one is I forget the set, I won't look over, but Maho, I really like his art, how he does bold outlines. I let me see if I could, is this one Fates Collide? Might be. I think this is the only Chinchino where you can see it's actually in mid attack. The others a bit more posing in a cute pose. I really like the attack of this one, where you could choose some cards from your discard pile, and you would either do an attack if your opponent doesn't allow you to take those cards. I doubt it was playable, but I thought the attack is pretty funny. This one I mentioned already. Is it Shiny Star V? What's the? I think it's Shiny Fates. I might be wrong. Anyway, it has the Mate Do ability, which is similar to the trade ability of Zoroark. I had a deck with some Chinchinos as backup support in a Blissey deck, and I'm pretty sure I had it as a draw engine in some other decks that I was playing casually. I've shown this one before. Here's a staff copy. This is from Sword and Shield base. It was graded a 6, but to me it wasn't a 6. Honestly, I don't like the staff. I'm surprised how small that the staff stamp is, but I guess it's fine. I really like the colors that you see in the background. Who drew this one? Shibizo. If I'm mhm. Reminds me, see, to me it's similar to this one, where they're both lying down on some bedding of sorts. Uh, where's this one? This one's Brilliant Stars. To me, this one's the most plain of the lot, where the attack doesn't seem that interesting. I've heard this terminology of like a bulk card in a way, but to me, it's fine. The artwork of it in the snow, the fur really helps out with the cold. These two I got at a pre-release I went to for what's the set again? Yeah, Temporal. Is it Temporal Forces or Twilight Masquerade? Yeah, I really obvious. I should just read what it says. Yeah, I got these two, and this is the final one I bought. I was going to hold off buying this art rare for a while because I figured, because if you don't know, this Chinchino is pretty playable in the Lugia deck, Lugia V Star, which is very powerful at the moment in the meta. So there was a bit of a player's premium attached to this Chinchino. But at this point being, I want to say it's been out for some months, so I managed to find a copy for about £5. So I figured at that price point I can't go wrong with buying it. Was there anything else I want to say? I'll play it by ear on what video I release next. Thanks for watching.